he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat.
2030 in our country to do and deliver to the market the best fight with good price and make the fight that people want to.
In one of the most fiery moments in recent boxing history, Canelo Álvarez, the reigning pound-for-pound king of boxing, launched a scathing verbal attack on Terence Crawford during a press conference. The outburst shocked both fans and pundits, and the tension between the two elite fighters has since sparked heated debates across the boxing world. Canelo, known for his stoic demeanor and calculated approach, both in and out of the ring, seemed to lose his composure in front of the media, accusing Crawford of not being a real professional boxer. This heated exchange sets the stage for what could be a monumental clash between two of the best fighters in the world.
It's one thing, I mean, I wouldn't think that Canelo watched Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo, it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoken to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. I mean, money talks. You know, if it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
The press conference took place ahead of a highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, a fight that had been discussed for months. As both fighters stood at the podium, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation.
Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Álvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course.
Fans and journalists were eager to hear the fighters discuss the intricacies of their upcoming bout. However, the press event took an unexpected turn when Canelo suddenly lashed out at Crawford, accusing him of not being a professional.
To him, I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168. Your weight, no catch weight, no none of that.
This altercation wasn't just another exchange of words. It was a public confrontation between two boxing legends, each vying for control of the pound-for-pound rankings and the right to be called the best fighter of their generation. Canelo, who had dominated the middleweight and super middleweight divisions, found himself facing the unbeaten Crawford, a masterful technician with an incredible record at welterweight. During the press conference, as reporters asked questions about their respective careers and what the fight meant to them, Canelo Álvarez launched into a tirade that caught everyone off guard. "You are not a pro boxer," Canelo spat out, his voice rising in intensity. "You can't call yourself a professional if you don't step up and fight the best. You hide behind your undefeated record and your padded resume, but you're not a real fighter. You're scared to face real competition." The comment sent shockwaves through the crowd. Crawford, who had been calm and composed throughout the press event, was momentarily taken aback. The jab wasn't just a personal attack. It was a direct challenge to Crawford's legitimacy as a top-tier boxer. To fully understand the gravity of Canelo's words, it's essential to look at the background of their rivalry. Canelo Álvarez, having fought and defeated some of the biggest names in boxing, including Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Callum Smith, has long been considered the top pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. His career has been built on fighting the best, often moving up and down in weight divisions to chase big challenges. On the other hand, Terence Crawford, a multiple weight world champion, has been hailed for his boxing intelligence, versatility, and dominant performances in the welterweight division. While Crawford's record remains unblemished, his critics argue that he has yet to face an opponent of Canelo's caliber in recent years. Some have questioned his choice of opponents and his reluctance to fight other top contenders, including some of the biggest names in the sport, especially in the welterweight division. The crux of Canelo's argument was that Crawford, despite being an undefeated champion, hadn't faced the same level of competition that Canelo had. To Canelo, being a real boxer meant stepping up to the plate against the best, regardless of weight class or the difficulty of the challenge. In his view, Crawford's opponents lacked the pedigree and toughness of Canelo's, thus questioning Crawford's claim to being the best. Terence Crawford, known for his calm demeanor and unflappable nature, didn't immediately retaliate to Canelo's sharp words. Instead, he took a measured approach, responding with quiet confidence. "You can say whatever you want, Canelo," Crawford replied coolly. "But at the end of the day, I'm the one with the skills. You don't need to talk down to me. When we get in the ring, it'll be all about what happens there. That's where we'll see who's the best." Crawford's response only fueled the tension between the two fighters. While Canelo's attack appeared to be a deliberate attempt to get under Crawford's skin, Crawford's calm and composed reply showed that he wasn't easily rattled by the verbal sparring. The dynamic between the two fighters shifted dramatically, as the press conference quickly became the epicenter of a rivalry that could lead to a legendary bout. The rivalry between Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford is rooted in their shared desire to be considered the greatest boxer of their era. Both have amassed impressive records and titles, but their paths to greatness have been different. Canelo has tested himself against a broader range of opponents, moving up and down in weight divisions to prove his versatility and dominance. Crawford, while undefeated and highly skilled, has faced criticism for not taking on some of the top names in the welterweight division and for remaining in a weight class where his competition has often been questioned. The clash, which is expected to take place in the coming months, is more than just a fight for supremacy in their weight classes. It is a battle for legacy, a chance to settle who truly deserves to be called the best boxer in the world. For Canelo, it's an opportunity to prove that his reign atop the sport is undisputed. For Crawford, it's a chance to prove that his unbeaten record is not a fluke and that he can indeed compete with the very best, regardless of weight class. Canelo's attack on Crawford was more than just an attempt to provoke his opponent. It was a message to the boxing world. By calling Crawford out in such a public and aggressive manner, Canelo made it clear that he's willing to do whatever it takes to defend his position as the sport's top fighter. He's not afraid to speak his mind, even if it means ruffling some feathers along the way. Canelo's message was also a reminder of the competitive spirit that drives him. He's been at the top for years, but he knows that in boxing, nothing is ever guaranteed. Fighters like Crawford are constantly nipping at his heels, and Canelo's verbal attack was a way to establish dominance and show that he is the fighter everyone has to beat. As expected, the fallout from the press conference generated widespread debate within the boxing community. Fans were divided. Some sided with Canelo, believing that he was right to call out Crawford for not facing the toughest competition, while others believed that Crawford's unbeaten record and undeniable talent spoke for itself. Veteran boxing analysts weighed in on the situation, with many praising Canelo for his boldness and competitive nature. However, others cautioned that such public confrontations could backfire, especially when dealing with a fighter as skilled and mentally strong as Crawford. The press conference and the subsequent verbal attack may have added a new layer of drama and intensity to the upcoming fight, but it also raised questions about how each fighter will handle the pressure. Canelo, known for his composed and methodical approach, may have crossed the line in trying to get into Crawford's head. Crawford, for his part, has remained cool under pressure, and his calm response to Canelo's attack suggests that he's ready for whatever comes his way. In the lead-up to their clash, the focus will undoubtedly remain on the physical and mental battle that is set to unfold in the ring. The trash talk may have added some spice to the build-up, but it's the fighter's skills and strategy that will ultimately decide the outcome. Canelo Álvarez's verbal assault on Terence Crawford was an unexpected and dramatic moment in the build-up to their highly anticipated fight. It added a layer of drama to an already electrifying rivalry, leaving fans on the edge of their seats as they wait for the two boxers to settle their differences in the ring. As the date of the fight draws nearer, both Canelo and Crawford will continue to train and strategize, knowing that this fight is more than just about titles, it's about legacy. For Canelo, the chance to solidify his position as the best in the world is at stake. For Crawford, it's a shot at proving that his unbeaten record is more than just a statistic. It's the mark of a true champion. The build-up to this fight has been filled with verbal exchanges, but when the bell rings, it will be the fighter's skills and determination that will decide the outcome. The world of boxing eagerly awaits what promises to be a historic and unforgettable showdown.